And I want to share an anecdote to start the show today of an interaction I just had recently with a company that was speaking to me about an agenda they had. They were going to get all their salespeople together for a quarterly meeting, and they were running through their agenda with me, and 75% of their agenda was around that the salespeople weren't really adopting the tools. And the company was really frustrated because they said to me, don't they realize how much these tools will help them increase their revenue and make their time more efficient and be more productive? And they decided that the way they were going to address this employee adoption problem was that they were going to present the tools in front of the room, have someone demonstrate how to use them and why they're relevant. And I said to the company, I said, geez, that's really not the right approach because A, haven't you done that already? And B, if you're not getting the results you want, why would you try the same tactic and strategy again? So they said, well, what would you do? And I said, well, I would try to uncover what are the fears that are holding them back. Because if you want someone to do something, if you're trying to influence behavior, then you really have to understand what drives the behavior. Now, in sales, for example, one of the things we know about is that salespeople, and by the way, I'm one of them, so I'm including myself in this mix, salespeople have a stigma of being lazy. Salespeople have a stigma around working smarter, not harder. The problem with that logic is when someone gives you that throwaway line, they don't want to do anything more than what they're doing. So even when they say they're working smarter, it still elicits change and makes them do something different. So if you've got a bunch of salespeople in the room and they're saying to you, look, I get it. I understand how these tools are going to be helpful because I do believe most of these salespeople get that. But why, if you get it, why aren't you using it? And here's why they're not using it. One of them is the obvious. They don't know how. And I don't know about you, but whenever I have a to-do list item where I have to learn something new that I'm particularly not excited about learning, it goes to the bottom of my list. So the first thing is you're going to procrastinate. You're going to avoid something that you don't know how to do. So that's the first motivator and fear that you have to get to. The second issue is what additional time is this going to create in my schedule? Because even if it's only an hour, it's something that's going to take away from something I'd rather be doing, such as make money. So knowing that salespeople are sitting there saying, boy, this is going to interfere with my schedule, how do you address that? The third thing is it presented? How is this opportunity framed? A lot of times in communication, the impact in communication you can have is often based on reframing a negative to a positive. So if you tell the salespeople, look, we really need you to use these tools. They're going to help you. So now you're really talking to them like an authority. And when people are talked to from an authority, there's often a lot of resentment and they tune you out. So the key there is how the message is sent. So let me give you two examples. One is the one I just said, which is, hey, this is something you're going to need to do. It's going to help you. Or great news. We've decided to invest in your success. And as a result of that, we're going to assign you a resource that will help you mitigate and minimize the pain it's going to be on your end. And it's going to reduce the amount of time you'd have to learn it. And all the fears that they have, you address the elephants in the room and get those fears out there so they're less likely to put up a roadblock and an obstacle. And what's amusing to me about this is when we talk about great communication, when you're in the sales and marketing world, it's all about influence, persuasion, getting people to adopt your message and your strategy. But why isn't that the same approach internally? Why aren't we, when we're trying to pitch ideas to employees, why aren't we anticipating their obstacles in the same way we would anticipate a client's obstacles?